Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I want to call the meeting of the Board of Zoning Appeals to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Stone? Mr. Brumfield?
Here.
Mr. Yeaman? Mr. Easley?
Here.
Ms. Warren? Mr. Craddock?
Here.
Mr. Merrick's.
Here. I'd like to ask you all to stand for a moment of silence and we'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Members of the board, you have the agenda in front of you. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Move that be approved as written.
We have a motion by Mr. Easley to approve it. Second?
I second.
Second by Mr. Craddock. Cast your vote, please. Hopefully, maybe.
It's not coming up. John.
We good? We good?
I don't have anything.
Maybe not good.
Oh. I approve. I don't have anything.
All right. We have the minutes in your packet. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes as written.
We have a motion to approve by Mr. Craddock. Let me say this. In the minutes, the motion for one of those signs had the sign be 400 feet. And I think we set a minimum of 400 feet.
That's correct.
And the minimum was not in the minutes.
Okay,
So I think we need
we'll
to
add that.
add
You can
that
make a
word.
motion approving with that addition.
Right, so just want to be sure. So Mr. Craddock's making a motion that we have approved the minutes with the addition of that minimum of 400 feet.
Correct.
Okay. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second. Mr. Brumfield, cast your vote. Okay. All right. Any old business?
I do not have any old business.
All right.
My vote didn't come up.
Okay, Mr. Easley, just give a verbal vote.
Yes.
Mr. Easley voted yes.
Okay.
Everybody else vote yeah. Okay, all right. So, any new business?
We do not have any new business. We will have a meeting next month.
Meeting next month, all right. I have no report from the chairman, so the time is 6:03. I'm going to read the pursuant to Article 5, Division 7 of the Pittsylvania County Zoning Ordinance, we, the Board of Zoning Appeals, have been empowered to hear and decide specific applications and appeals in support of said ordinance. In accomplishing this important task, we are charged with promoting the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Pittsylvania County. We must ensure that all our decisions and recommendations be directed to these goals and that each be consistent with the environment, comprehensive plan, and in the best interest of Pittsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. Anyone here to speak to the board other than the applicant regarding zoning cases will be limited to 3 minutes. It is 6:04, case number S24004, Ms. Ragsdale.
Case S-24-004, Daniel Comer has petitioned for a special use permit on 1.26 acres located on State Road 985, Staten Drive, in the Dan River Election District to allow for the placement of a single-wide manufactured home in accordance with Pittsylvania County Code, Section 35-223. The Planning Commission recommended by a 7-0 vote with no opposition that the petitioner's request be granted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet. Mr. Chairman, Daniel Comer is here to represent the petition.
All right, thank you. Mr. Comer, would you come forward, and do you have anything to add to your application? All right, stand right here. If anybody has a question, we'll ask. Does anybody from the board have a question for Mr. Comer? All right, sir, you can be seated.
All right.
Do we have anyone signed up to speak for this case?
No.
No one to speak. The time is 6:05. All right, we got I think, board, what's your pleasure?
I think we
Positive
should.
motion?
Yes, sir.
Positive motion? I'll read a positive motion. Whereas Daniel Comer has petitioned the Board of Zoning Appeals for the special use permit for the placement of a single-wide manufactured home, and whereas we find no substantial detriment to adjacent property, that the character of the zoning district will not be changed thereby, and that such use will be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the ordinance, I move the special use permit be granted. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Craddock? Second.
Second.
Mr. Brumfield, cast your vote.
Ms. Brown?
Don't have anything on my screen.
Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Comer. We'll check with the office. They'll let you know what to do. All right, the time is 6:07. Case S-24-003. Ms. Ragsdale.
Case S-24-003, Epic Management Group, VA LLC, Epic Health Partners has petitioned for a special use permit on 0.67 acres located on State Road 839, W.I. Powell Road in the Chatham Blair's Election District to allow for a residential addiction treatment group home in accordance with Pittsylvania County Code, Section 35-223. Planning Commission recommended by a 7-0 vote with opposition that the petitioner's request be denied. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, I do not see any representatives from Epic Health Partners here.
All right. That being said, we have the option to hear the case in their absence, or we can table it to a future meeting. Is that correct?
That's correct.
That's correct.
So what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I'd recommend we proceed with the meeting.
All right.
Let it stand on its own merit.
Everybody feel okay?
Yes.
I agree.
We will do that. All right. We have people signed up to speak. Now, limit your comments to 3 minutes. That's why I have this gavel here. So if you got something to say when we need to hear, that's fine, but 3 minutes. That's it.
All right, the first speaker will be Susie Holland.
Good evening, Susie Holland. I feel like I'm like a rewind here.
Can you pull the microphone down a little bit?
It's on, so you need
I
to
think
speak
it's on.
into the
Just
mic.
pull it down
Can
so
you
you
hear
can
now?
speak into it.
Speak into the mic, yeah.
When we were here last time, I explained we've got like 179 signatures, over 60 of those from residents alone. These folks want to set up a rehabilitation home for drug addicts. We all understand they need a place to go and need a place to heal, but a lot of things didn't make sense to us. The lady, the senior person manager, stated that it could be combative and bad to try to rehab in a rural area. Well, there's not a lot of places that are much more rural than once you get out and drive for. We got farms and a dump truck store and a quick shop, and that's pretty much it. The fence is a big issue. They put up a 8-foot fence around the entire property. We've questioned that with several people about the code if it's a code violation. We've not been told anything at all. And personally, I would not want to be behind an 8-foot panel fence for 19 hours a day, because that would make me feel like I'm right here in Chatham at the jail. We have children. We have a lot of seniors. We have a lot of working class. Can we say that these folks are going to jump that fence and do anything? I can't say, but they can't say either. I worked 25 years in law enforcement. I dealt with people with addiction problems. I've dealt with group homes. It's unpredictable what could happen, and that's why I feel like we need to not let it get that far. We have lots of children. Our young people like to ride their four-wheelers, down the side of the road, through the woods, onto the farms. The farmers let them. They go fishing at the ponds. They go walking. We have older people trying to stay in decent shape. They walk the streets, all day long. It's every day, not just a weekend thing. And we're just really concerned about our neighborhood. We all work hard for what we have. We don't want to lose that. We don't want drama. We have a couple of homes there with issues already that we've tried to deal with over the years and can't get a whole lot done, but we're working on it still. We're not going to give up, but it's home. And I think you can see by this group, all these people are from Dry Fork. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank y'all.
All right. Do we have?
All right, Steve McDowell.
Let's come forward and state your name and your address, please.
Yes, sir.
That's all right. I'm slow, too.
Don't get no butter, believe me.
No.
Good evening. I'm Stephen McDowell. Appreciate your time to meet with me and let me speak. I've lived at 693 W.I. Powell Road, Dry Fork, Virginia, 24549 for 30 years. I'm here tonight to urge you to vote against this special use permit for the residents on W.I. Powell Road. Rehab facilities require vast amounts of county resources. They need EMS, fire, and police response quickly. You may ask, well, how I know this. I'm a retired fire captain from the City of Denver Fire Department. We had one of these rehabilitation facilities in a single-family dwelling in the neighborhood that I was responsible for. Responded there frequently. These type of facilities require a rapid 3 to 5 minute response time for their emergencies. We did not have that in our rural neighborhood on W.I. Powell Road. Fire might come 5 to 7 minutes at best. Ambulance transport service, 15 to 20 minutes at best, if that's somebody sitting at the station waiting. Police response, 15 to 20 minutes. I've lived on W.I. Powell Road for 30 years. I haven't seen a deputy ride by my house more than 10 times, and 2 times I called him. The county just recently did a reassessment of my property. My assessment and all these people's assessment went up 50%. What is a rehab facility? What is the impact of a rehab facility within 1/4 of a mile from my property due to its value? Is the county going to come back and do a readjustment on my assessment? I don't think so. I applaud Epic Health Partners, who I don't see here at all, for their effort to help these people. They do need help. They've held no community outreach sessions at all. If Mr. Williams was here, I'd ask him, what's your historical success rate? How many people graduate from this program? How many of our people relapse after 6 months, 12 months? Remember, these individuals will be riding by my property 2 times a day, 5 days a week. They will be exposed to a community on WI Power Road they've probably never seen before. A facility of this nature needs to be in an area with quick access to much-needed emergency response. I know that from experience. Again, thank you for your time. Please vote against this special use permit. That's what the majority of these people are here to speak about, to have this denied. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. McDowell.
Earl Oaks.
Thank you. My name is Earl Oaks. I live beside where they put the fence at, right beside the house. Me and my wife is elderly. We don't feel comfortable there. There's children on the other side. The fence is like 20 feet away from Miss Yates's house. She's always got grandkids and kids playing and stuff, and at times we do too. And it's very easy for somebody to jump over that fence. That 8-foot fence, you got 2x4s on the inside. People can step right over. It's just like a ladder. Step right over it and grab a kid, and the kid's gone. It could be 15, 20 minutes. Kid could be gone. I don't want that. The neighborhood is a safe, nice neighborhood where people knows everybody and everybody's nice, and it's just the kind of neighborhood that you enjoy living in.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want it to see it change. And like I say, I don't feel safe right there. The fence, I can't hardly see it to get out of my driveway and stuff. The fence, it's just, you come up the road and look at it, it's just terrible to look at. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Oaks.
Alice Wells.
Good evening. My name is Alice Wells. My husband and I have been residents at 1041 W.I. Powell Road for over 25 years. We are not opposed to people getting help, but we are opposed to a drug rehab business being located in our residential neighborhood that is filled with children. There are over 30 kids of all ages living on this road, and children live next door to this house with a sky-high fence all around it. So, Epic wants to create a revolving door of drug addicts and transport them daily back and forth through our neighborhood filled with children. Epic should have come out to our neighborhood and asked the neighbors how they felt about this before they purchased the house and built that fence. The petition speaks volumes about how we all feel. Everyone is opposed to it. Let's not forget that Epic tried to sneak this business into our neighborhood without the proper paperwork until they were called out on this matter. So what does this tell us about this company? There is nothing that Epic can say to us that would ease our fears. Epic has lost our trust. Epic cannot control their patients when they leave their property. Some may not be committed to the program. Some will be court-ordered, meaning they have to go whether they want to or not. Some will relapse, and we all know that addicts will do anything for a fix when that happens, and now they have been introduced to a neighborhood that they otherwise wouldn't know about. So safety is a major concern for us as residents in a neighborhood filled with children. Epic cannot guarantee our safety, but Epic is willing to risk our safety for a dollar. There are no resources available to them on our road. They need to be located in a controlled setting. We will not feel safe in our neighborhood that we all chose to live in and raise families. It's country living and a safe place for children to run and play. It is your job to keep us safe and protect our property values. So please hold Epic accountable for not doing their homework and vote no to the special use permit to prevent this business from being located in our neighborhood filled with children. And if Mr. Williams was here tonight, I would ask him to take Mr. Waters up on his offer to help them find a better location, that they would take down the front part of that fence and sell the house. Thank you.
Thank you.
Leroy Hamlet.
Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon. I stand here today.
State your name and your address.
Leroy Hammond,
And the address.
6909 Dry Fork Road, Dry Fork, Virginia.
All right, thank you.
I stand here, I don't stay on our power road, but I don't feel like that we need to have someone like this in our community, because I've been on the Dry Fork area for over 25 years. And we never had no problem. We never had no police come by to do anything, or we always had a good community there. I don't feel like that we should clutter our community up with someone with a fence that's tall enough for cows, I look at it. And we don't need this in Dry Fork. We just don't. We have a nice, good community. We have nice peoples. We got a school. I live right across in front of Dry Fork School. And we don't need no one. We really don't know what they got. We don't know, because when he came, he did not speculate what they were going to use. They done changed it 2 or 3 times. They bought the property in 2020, and we didn't know nothing about it. They slipped it in on us. So the only thing we know is what they said on the last meeting. So if that's that you all decline this, because from my house to where the fence is at, if you go straight through the woods, it wouldn't even take 10 or 15 minutes for someone to come and steal whatever. We don't know what these people's about. We don't have no idea. All we know is they bring in rehab people. We don't know whether them type of people's going harm anyone, or we just don't know. So I feel like the board, y'all should deny this because of the way Mr. Williams, he didn't do his homework. He could have came to any of us and talked about it and see what we wanted, but he never did. He just slipped it in on us, and he feel like, well, they old people, they don't really know the difference. We're just taking it and go on with it. But that's not it. I love Dry Fork area, our Power Road. I got a lot of friends over there, and I feel like we do not need this in our area. I thank y'all for letting me speak, and please take notice of this. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Daniel Long.
Hello.
Name's Daniel Long. I live at 11028 Franklin Turnpike. I've asked to speak before you today, not only as a member of this community, but also as a recovered addict myself. The Code of Virginia, when defining group homes, has gone above general disabilities and separated addiction into a classification of its own. This is to recognize that the disability of addiction has its own set of needs, and that care should be taken before we randomly decide anywhere is as good as the next when it comes to assisting these members of society. Furthermore, the state of Virginia recognizes this by requiring residential recovery homes to be certified by a credentialing entity that specializes in the specific needs of these types of facilities. Residential recovery centers can be a vital step in the journey of recovery. They provide a safe environment where a person can once again begin to function as a productive member of society while having a community around them that understands their disability. However, in order for these facilities to have a chance at success, as the National Association of Residential Recovery Homes has stated, they cannot be operated as an island unto themselves. The Virginia Association of Residential Recovery Homes goes by the national standards, and in itself, in its requisites, has stated that these facilities must be operated as a member of the community. That in order for the addiction to be treated properly, that they can't separate themselves, they can't put up fences, they can't ignore their neighbors and operate however they see fit as a profitable business. That the most important thing in protecting the disability of those that are addicted is in providing them with a healthy community that supports them. I would like to state off of paper that obviously the turnout here today reflects that these people have all dealt with addiction in some place in their life. And therefore the understanding is that not so much to protect ourselves from these members of society, but these members of society are not going to get the treatment that they need where this facility is proposed to be placed. There's no public transportation, there's no jobs, there's no community resources, and that's a problem. That's a problem for our community. But it's also not a problem that you place a facility like this into the middle of and not provide these people the things that they need in order to further their lives. And for that reason, I ask that you support the denial and deny the appeal today.
Thank you, Mr. Long.
Thank you.
And Tara Riddle.
Good evening. Tara Riddle. I am a 50-year resident of 648 W.I. Powell Road. When homeowners and neighbors are made aware of the application by EPIC, there are generally two concerns. The initial concern is the personal safety. Residents' anxiety and safety concerns would be met with the burden of security systems and monitoring fees. EPIC will try to convince us that a residential addiction treatment home is safe for our neighborhood. However, their installation of the solid fortress around 464 W.I. Powell Road indicates otherwise. If you've not seen pictures of this fence that everyone mentions, I will simply say that you can see more of Green Rock than you can of this house. Secondly, the realization that home values will be adversely affected. According to the Journal of Real Estate, Finance, and Economics, the residential neighborhood impacted values will be as much as 20% within a 2-mile radius. While all of us that are here represent W.I. Powell Road, your decision will set the precedent for all of the impacts for R1 residential properties in Pittsylvania County. As you vote tonight, think of Malmason Road, Strawberry Road, Ridgecrest Drive, Whispering Pines, Straight Stone, Wilkerson, and Horseshoe, which are one road in every district. The residents of which have absolutely no idea of tonight's meeting or the impact that your decision can make on their property. We ask that you consider all R1 properties in Pittsylvania County as you deny the request by EPIC Management Group. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Sign up. Anyone else like to speak in the public hearing? The time is 6:28. We'll close the public hearing. Okay, you've heard the comments. It is our job to identify adverse effects. And if they cannot be mitigated through conditions, then we issue deny a negative motion. I wrote down some things myself. Safety is number one, I heard. Response time, adequate resources as far as fire and sheriff and so forth, and community resources for the program. I did mention home values, and that's not something we can deal with, but not an adverse effect. So what's the pleasure of the board? Anybody got any comment?
Well, it's clear to me that those that live in the community, that are neighbors, or opposed to this. And I didn't hear anything that would benefit the community by moving forward and allowing this to take place. So I do not support this.
Anybody else want to speak?
Mr. Chairman, I guess as was mentioned by everyone that spoke, the company said they wanted to come in and be a part of the community, and then they built an 8-foot fence around, and that's kind of ominous when you pull up to it in the middle of
Yeah.
of a community. And these facilities are needed. I just don't think W.I. Powell Road is the right place for one.
I agree, and I just don't think there's really anything that can be done to mitigate some of the concerns. It's just not the right neighborhood.
Ms. Warren, any comment?
I'm not in favor of it.
Okay, so negative, I'm hearing a negative motion. Whereas Epic Management Group has petitioned the Board of Zoning Appeals for a special use permit for a residential addiction treatment group home. And whereas we find substantial detriment to adjacent property, that the character of the zoning district will be changed thereby, and that such use will not be in harmony with the purpose and intent of the ordinance, I move that the special use permit be denied. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Easley, motion.
Second.
Mr. Brumfield, second. Cast your vote.
Mr. Brumfield?
Yes.
We got everybody?
The yes vote is to deny the request.
To
correct?
deny.
Yes.
Yes.
That is
Negative
correct.
Yes,
motion.
it's to deny.
To deny, yes. Yes.
I did.
Miss Anna, you want to change yours?
Yes,
Yes.
I like to change mine.
Okay. And Mr. Easley? your
Yes.
vote? And Mr. Craddock?
Yes.
The motion to deny the permit is passed 5-0. I want to thank each of you for coming out tonight. I appreciate your comments, and any other business?